Self-discipline is definitely one of my superpowers. And in this episode of the podcast, I'll share with you 4 steps for you to turn self-discipline into a superpower for you as well. No fluff, no BS, real talk, real strategies for improving your self-discipline coming right at you in this episode of the podcast. Tune in and take notes.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
One of the things that I found over the years is that self-discipline, like a muscle, is very trainable and is a very developable skill. You can actually build this skill and get better at your self-discipline capacity through practice, but there's definitely steps that lead to success. Now, it doesn't happen all overnight, but the good news is it is a winnable battle. And maybe you struggle with self-discipline. Maybe this is something that's been holding you back when it comes to being consistent with your exercise routine, or being consistent with healthy eating, or being consistent with doing whatever you have to do in your work, in your relationships with your spouse, with your kids. Maybe you find that you get really frustrated with yourself because you don't see yourself following through on the things that you know you need to do. The good news is, again, you can win this battle. Self-discipline is a trainable skill. And in this episode, I'm going to share with you guys 4 steps that has helped me. All of these steps are crucial for me and that have been massive for helping me to develop self-discipline as a superpower. I'm going to share it with you guys now. So without further ado, let's get into one of these. And these are in no particular order, by the way. But step number 1, no snoozing your morning alarm. Make a personal rule for yourself that you do not use the snooze button on your phone at all, ever. This is a rule that I have for myself. You probably know somebody that hits the snooze button like 7 times before they get out of bed in the morning. Or maybe that's you. Maybe you have this struggle. And if you do that, basically what you're doing is you are beginning your day with an act of procrastination, which is literally the opposite of self-discipline. Plus, we all know that the additional sleep you get when you snooze and the thing buzzes 7 minutes later, and then you snooze, and then the thing buzzes 7 minutes later, you're not getting high quality sleep then anyway. And then you wake up feeling behind schedule. You wake up feeling like you've already kind of lost the psychological battle of the day. You just feel bad about yourself. It's not a good feeling starting your day like that. But having a personal rule that when my alarm goes off, it is time for me to get up and I am not going to use the snooze button ever again is a massive perspective shift. It changes how you think in a really valuable way. First of all, if you know that in the morning, your alarm is going to go off at a certain time and you must get up at that time, win, lose, or draw, no matter what, it changes how you think about bedtime the night before. I would go so far as to say that for so many people, just getting to bed at the time that they know they should get to bed is a lead domino that leads to self-discipline the entire rest of the day, because getting the sleep you need is one of the things that improves every area of your life, including your self-discipline. There's fantastic research that talks about how when you have enough sleep, you are less likely to overeat, less likely to eat poor quality foods. Your focus, your attention, your concentration are all better when you get to bed on time, get the sleep that you need. You feel better all day. Your energy is better, and it is easier, much easier to get up without hitting the snooze button on your alarm. So if you're now the night before thinking, when do I need to go to bed? Okay, I have to go to bed by that time. The Netflix marathon is over by then. I have to have my dinner done by a certain time. This one rule that pushes you to get to bed on time the night before could be a massive game changer in terms of your self-discipline. So that's rule number 1, no snoozing your morning alarm. Let's go to rule number 2. Set your phone where it's in black and white, not color, and no notifications. What do I mean? You want to minimize the amount of distractions and interruptions that your phone throws at you throughout the day, every day. And that will dramatically increase your likelihood of succeeding in taking action on the things that you should take action on. Your self-discipline is a function of what kind of interruption, what kind of distraction do you allow or permit from your phone. My cell phone right now, if you have an iPhone, go to settings, search for color or even just color filters, and then turn on the grayscale filter. My phone at all times is in black and white. Why? Because you will literally use your phone 30% less time if your phone is in black and white versus color. There's actual data on this, and it's so fascinating, but it also kind of makes sense because you know that when you look at your phone and it's beautiful, resonant, vibrant colors, it's a more attractive interface. You're more likely to stay engaged with it for longer versus if your phone's in black and white, you're less drawn into it. You will lose less time with distractions and thumb scrolling and nonsense and just bull crap if your phone's in black and white. This has been a massive game changer for me. And additionally, I set my phone to no notifications. So when I get if I get a text message, I don't get a notification about it. My phone is set where it does not ring if someone is calling. I don't have notifications on my phone from Facebook or Instagram or any other social media accounts. None. I don't have a notification bell about subscriptions on YouTube, nothing. I took the time, took a few minutes, went into my phone's settings and turned off all the notifications. But because I did that, and there's real great data that says this is a universal for people. It's a human psychology thing that if your phone is set to black and white with no notifications, you will spend less time on your phone, which immediately opens up time to do all kinds of cool stuff in real life off of your phone. You probably gain 30 minutes to an hour for exercise just by doing this one step, one change with your phone, which means that your likelihood of success and demonstrating what looks like self-discipline by going to the gym more consistently could partly be a function of, does your phone pull you away from the gym or not? Get rid of all the notifications, put your phone on black and white, and start living your best life, practicing that self-discipline. That's step number 2. Step number three to massive improvements in self-discipline: systems. Find something that works for you and put it on repeat forever. When I started hitting the gym in the first place, I did a standard weightlifting routine. And I knew that back squats and presses and deadlifts were very, very valuable exercises for me to develop the capacity, the functional ability to go out and live my best life. So I just put them on repeat. They're on my calendar and I do them all the time. I do them every single week. Then I started doing CrossFit and I realized this gives me a whole additional set of benefits in terms of like my energy, my endurance, my stamina, my flexibility, my speed and my power, my agility. I put that on my calendar. I do it every single week, 4 times. Then I started doing jujitsu, and I love the benefits I got from that. I put it on my calendar and put it on repeat forever. This general pattern of finding something that works, which might be finding a breakfast that is super healthy, super on plan for you, and you enjoy it, put it on repeat forever. Find the systems, the things that work for you. And when you have them on your calendar as regular repeating appointments, it is much easier to develop self-discipline around them because you know on certain days, at certain times, that's when I work out. And I know I love this breakfast and it works for me, keeps me super lean. I need to be sure that every week I have the ingredients, that I have the stuff from the grocery store that I need to make this recipe happen over and over. Find things that work, put them on repeat forever instead of constantly reinventing the wheel. Constantly reinventing things could be looked at the opposite of self-discipline, because self-discipline directly implies consistency of behavior, and things that interfere with consistency of behavior are literally the opposite of self-discipline, like the notifications on your phone. So CrossFit could be it, making the chili that you love, making it every weekend so you have it as a dinner available to you during the week. But build the systems and put them on repeat for massive improvements in your self-discipline. That's step number 3. And 4, let's talk about habits. Stack them atomically. What I mean by that, this is a reference to James Clear's very popular best-selling book, Atomic Habits, where he talks about if you want to develop and retain a new habit, link it to something that you're already doing consistently as a pair. For example, if you want to remember to take your vitamins every single day, put your vitamins right next to where you brush your teeth in the morning, and have your vitamins either like right before you brush your teeth or right after you brush your teeth. The brushing your teeth is the habit you've already established. It is already there as a regular part of your life. You just link this new habit of taking your vitamins to that established habit. And now you've got the pair together, and it's much easier. I see my toothbrush. I'm going to brush my teeth in a moment. I need to take my vitamins. It's easier to then remember to take your vitamins if it is linked to the behavior you already do. Similarly, you might have, let's say, I know that as soon as my son goes to bed at night, he goes to bed at a certain time because it's scheduled. We've planned it out that way. Now, my new habit might be, as soon as I put my son to bed, I put a 30-minute timer on my phone, countdown timer. I've got 30 minutes till I go to bed. I need to be sure that I'm ready. 30 minutes from now, it's lights out. I need to be sure that I get through my dinner. I get through my evening routine. I read if I want to read, or whatever my evening routine is. But I've got 30 minutes starting now to get myself ready for bed. I have linked this 30-minute countdown timer to my son's bedtime, which makes it easier for me then to get myself to bed on time, which, as I mentioned at the start of this, is a massive lead domino for your tomorrow to go well and to make it easier for you to have self-discipline tomorrow. So to recap, 4 strategies you can use to massively improve your self-discipline. Number 1, no snoozing your morning alarm and everything that goes with that. Number 2, no distractions. Set your phone to a black and white grayscale color filter. No notifications, all notifications off. Step number 3, systems. Find things that work for you and put them on repeat forever. Once you gain the ground, never let it go. And number 4, follow James Clear's advice in the book Atomic Habits. Once you have your habits, stack them to make them stick, to help you stay to them. Hey, we hope you've found this podcast valuable. We'd love to hear from you. What strategies do you do that help you to have massive self-discipline? What works for you? Tell us in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. For now, we thank you for the gift of your time and your attention. We'll see you in the next episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more useful tools and guidance, go to CrossFitEdwardsville.com and feel free to like, share, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comment sections down below. See you in the next episode.